Coach Hurley, what makes camp unique and different with the outdoor setting here in the Poconos, and why is it beneficial for basketball players to come here to camp?
Well, I think the whole camp experience, this is with the roots of basketball, summer basketball in our country. Back here over 50 years ago, where kids went and isolated themselves completely from the world that they're from, stay in a cabin either with friends or with kids from all over the country, and then get up on the courts and just go from morning to night, just work on, becoming better basketball players. It's different than the experiences where kids stay at universities or they play indoors. The roots of the sport we played outside. And many of the greatest players who've ever played, most of their careers were outside until they reached at the college or pro level. So this is old school, and I think there's so many pluses that the kids can derive from playing, in an atmosphere like this.
We'll have a lot of kids up here who are grammar school players, grassroots players, all the way up to varsity players, and kids that'll even go on to play Division I, II, and III college basketball. Why is camp good for players of all skill levels and abilities?
Well, I think it's a sport of imitation. We start camp first day and we talk about to the kids that it's a sport of imitation and a sport of repetition. And what you're getting at every age here, when the younger kids finish playing, they're generally grabbing something to drink or a snack, and they go watch the older kids play. And the older kids, and while they're up here at camp, they're watching the staff play, the staff games. Because everybody is like sharing the same camp experience. And the guys who are working here were campers and played at one time. And everybody is, sharing the opportunity that you can start at 7:15 in the morning, and you can work until breakfast, and you can have some breakfast, and you can go back out, and we'll challenge you again, put a couple of good hours in, then you get a chance to try to use the things you used in your skill periods, try to use them in the game, go to your next meal, have a lecturer come in and give you a little mental perspective to the things that you should be doing, and then go back to work again. So it's like the mad scientist in a laboratory, and you're constantly looking to change the ingredients, and you just don't want the place to blow up. You just want to keep things moving along and experiment on your game, play with imagination, and keep trying to add things.
And to touch on the skill development that you just talked about, what are some points of emphasis that you have for the campers to take home with them, and little pieces of information that you really stress to them to work on their game while they're here?
Yeah, I think first of all you want to be positionless, which means that if you're a big kid, you want to be working on the same skills that the guards are working on. And the guards should learn the footwork and pivoting that the big kids have. So you start with an expansion of what your normal role is, and then you want to expand some of the things you do. Like your offensive moves, you want to polish your shot fakes, polish your pivoting, work on your shooting form, get out and within a team concept, get shots up when you play. No one's going to come up to you at the end of the game here and say, gee, that was a bad shot. But they're all kids that are trying to expand their game, and you walk the fine line between being creative and being out of control, and we want everybody to walk that line. So when they go home, they don't go home having, kind of pigeonhole themselves into being the same kind of player. We want kids to kind of expand who they're trying to be.
And finally, Coach, we get a lot of groups up here for your sessions. What's the experience like for players coming from the same town, staying together in the cabins, working together on the courts, and playing in the same league? How do you feel that is, in terms of value to their school teams?
I think with my own team coming up every August, I think it's for team building. It's tremendous because you isolate yourselves from the world home. We're here in cabins. The kids are spend time actually doing something they're not used to doing. They communicate without social media. They actually communicate one-on-one. The kids are here. Everybody shares common interest in the sport. Our legendary trivia stuff here, trying to expand what they watch, get kids more interested in other things outside of the world they're presently in. And then, getting back together at the end of every period, going back and talking about the games we just played, who you just saw play. It becomes a real shared basketball experience that at the end of the week, that group, when they leave, I know my group goes home and they're much closer when they leave here on Thursday than when we come up here on Sunday.